Alright, so this is going to be a complete re-review of the Wooting 60HE, and there are a few reasons I'm doing this. The first one is I didn't think my last review was as in-depth as it could have been, but also came out with new MCUs or processors. So they went from AVR to ARM, and I will go into the actual differences when I get into the inside tech stuff, but right now I'm just going to focus on the external stuff and the unboxing, and I will get into sound tests. I also do have a Blade 60 that I will show you. The main review is going to be off of the stock case because you cannot get the Blade 60 anymore. They discontinued it. So this main review is going to be off of the Blade 60, and I think that's fair in general. That's what it comes with stock. So there will be sound tests and everything. But yeah, so let's get into the unboxing. So when you first unbox this keyboard, just little thing, you will get the black and yellow cable. You will get a little baggie that has some extra switches in it, which you'll get here. And you will get the strap, you'll get the strap buckle, and you will get a little Wooting greeting card. On here, it will show you all the directions to put the strap together, and there's a little heart sign down on the bottom. You can see the names right there. That is everybody that backed them on their Founders Edition. They put them on the box. So I thought that is just a or that might just be everybody that pre-ordered it actually, but that is just a very nice thing to do. And that's just a very nice thing to do. Let's get into the exterior. So you get some PBT keycaps, which are actually some of the better shine through PBT keycaps that I've seen. The legends are very clear on them. Light gets illuminated very well, and the design is not gamery. You get a little Wooting keycap right there. And obviously only 60%. They do offer this in literally every layout. They offer this in ISO, Nordic, German, I believe, ANSI, everything. Now the design of the case, obviously it's plastic. You do get two little yellow bump-on feet on the bottom. You get a little Wooting logo right here, and there is a little ledge right here with a Wooting logo. The typing degree on this is extremely low, and I like it a lot. I do like the typing degree on this. It is a closed-ish case design. You can see right here when you're actually using it, but technically I guess it is closed. Now, I also did forget to mention you do get a little keyboard cover, like a dust cover, but whatever. And yeah, so this does come with only plate mounted stabilizers and a steel plate. The steel plate is just not good. I hope they come out with new plates, and I hope they can find a way maybe to do PCB mounted clip-in stabilizers. Even clip-ins are fine. I don't really need screw-ins. I think if you're good at modding stabilizers, you can get clip-ins about the same. Now, the switches obviously are the Lecker switches. They are pre-lubed on the springs and the stems. I don't think they are in the rails, but I know they said in the future they will be doing the rails, I believe. You can put these in north-facing like they are, or south-facing if you're going to use GMK keycaps or any sort of cherry profile keycap. You will need to swap them around. They're manufactured by Gateron, and they're very nice. They're definitely the smoothest switch I've ever tried, but there is one problem with them, and I hope they do improve this in the future. They're very loose, and that comes off with the sound. You get a very rattly sound almost. That little rattle sound I know you've probably heard in sound test is from the tolerances being so loose. And you can't use films or anything like that because they do have sensors and magnets in them to, the adjustable actuation, which I will get into. Yeah, so overall, the main piece of this keyboard is going to be on the inside. It's not going to be on the exterior. The case is average, although you can swap it into something like a Blade 60, which I will also get the sound test of, like I said. The real part of this keyboard is in here. Now, I'm going to show a picture of the PCB. You will see all of the names of everybody that backed them with their little designs on them, and that's a very nice touch, I believe. Now, this thing is tray mounted, as you can see, as the mounting points, so that's a little unfortunate, but I understand it because they need the switches to be stable. And as I said, the processor is ARM. Now, not AVR, and the main difference of that is going to be in the software, which I will pull up now. Difference is going to be more onboard profiles and future proofing. I believe this allows for the ability to have higher polling rate in the future. That's what someone said in the server. And yeah, that's something, it doesn't matter to me very much, but to other people it might, because I don't think keyboard polling rate necessarily matters. So past 1,000 hertz is where I'm going with that. So, or at least in this modern, like with everything that we have right now, I don't think it quite, 8,000 hertz on a keyboard right now doesn't matter, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. Let's go over the main features as well. So that is going to be 0.1 millimeter to 4 millimeter actuation. That is the adjustable actuation point of it. That's literally wobbling keycap to all the way down. Rapid trigger, which allows you to reactuate the switch at any point during the key press. So usually in a normal switch, what's going to happen is, I'll give you an example. To be able to reactuate the switch, you're going to have to press it halfway down, come back up, and then you're going to always have to go past that little point to reactuate the switch. On the Wooting, all it is you can reactuate the switch at any point. If you want to tap it like this and reactuate it, you can do that as many times as you want. You don't have to go past the switch. You don't have to bring it up all the way, nothing. And that is a huge advantage in rhythm games or if you're strafing. So yeah, this is the only switch that has that right now. So yeah, you also get the ability to use this like a gamepad if you want to use controller movement in like Forza or something like that. You are able to do that, or GTA or whatever. And this has the brightest RGB you will ever see in your life. The brightest RGB ever. Now, I have this on 30% right now, and if you saw my initial review, you will see why. Now, at 30%, this is already brighter than most RGB that you will see. Okay, I'm in the software right now, and I am going to turn wave effect on. Now, there's a reason I keep this at 30%. You're going to hear a noise when I turn this up to 100%. And that is because it is bringing so much power out through the RGB, it's just causing crazy amounts of interference. And I will show you what it looks like. So 30%, and I'm warning you, the sound probably will be loud. 100%. And this RGB is the brightest I've ever seen. The camera doesn't do it justice. It is literally blinding in real life. Now, you will probably hear that sound in the mic. So, yeah. There you go. There's with the white lights. You can just see how bright it is. Now, turning this back down to 30%, this brings us into our next point, the software. And the software on this keyboard is literally great. So, let's bring the software over. I have it downloaded, which still, even downloaded, is nothing compared to, like, bloat-wise, compared to what Razer offers, anything like that. This software is great. You can just use it online too. You do not need to install it at all. And I'll run you through all these things. So here you have color. I have it on this little Lecker thing. So, well, you have tachyon mode, which is another feature I was going to bring into in this. This basically, when you enable this, it lowers the latency, but on -2 milliseconds, you can use like wave pattern or, something like that. But I don't really use RGB, so I just keep this on lower latency, and I keep a stable stable RGB. And then you can set per key actuation, which I have my left shift on 0.5, spacebar on 0.5, win key on 3 millimeters, right shift on 2, enter on 2, and backspace on 1. That's how I like to do it. So yeah. And then you have this thing right here, this MT. This is also one of the great features of this keyboard. This is mod tab. So when I press FN on the keyboard, that gives me the arrow key, but when I hold it down, that gives me FN. So every time I press that key, it gives me the arrow keys, that whole bottom layer. Whenever I press any of these 4 keys, when I tap them, gives me arrow keys, hold them, gives me the functions. It's great. I love it. It makes it so I really don't need arrow keys, but yeah, that is definitely a very nice feature. And obviously you can remap all your keys, all of that stuff. You can set it to Colmac, Workman, Dvorak, any sort of typing thing you want. Now, back to the actual keyboard itself. I mean, honestly, like, if you were into internals, if you were into tech or anything like that, you would understand this. The technology in this thing is like a literal piece of art. Like, the PCB, just everything. All of the internals that it uses are just amazing. And the fact that they do give you the option to upgrade the case and all of that stuff, which does change the sound a lot. Especially there's a huge piece of EVA foam in there that definitely helps the sound a little bit. It is not the best sounding board. It's not meant for that. If you want a crazy sounding board, get a custom. This is a gaming keyboard, and obviously I'm going to show you the sound test now. But just to end off this video, I mean, this is a keyboard that is going to last you a very long time. If you just want the fastest keyboard out there, this is the fastest keyboard you're going to find probably for a while. There's the Final Mouse centerpiece, which is going to give it some competition, but I don't quite have the faith that Final Mouse knows how to use the tech like Wooting does, but we'll find out. I will obviously try to get my hands on one of those. So here's the sound test, and in my opinion, this keyboard is it's very worth it. If you need the fastest keyboard in the world, just buy it. Just buy it. And there's also a full-size version if you want that. Now, that's the end of this video. I'm going to send you the sound test, and peace.